Welcome everyone to the stream. It's been about what 4 days? Yeah, 4 days since I've come on since last Saturday. And 49ers just absolutely getting just the perfect win that we all wanted. Like this was the win that we wanted. It was electric, it was fun. Um, so first thing to start off, if you guys want to call in, link in description. I can also post it in the community channel now. So it'll probably be there. I mean, let me just post it right now. I have some film for Jimmy Garoppolo to go through, and that's where we're going to start today. I'm gonna keep it pretty short. First off, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm excited because I have a week off of I've had a week off of school. Well, now like 3 days off of school, but it's pretty nice because I get to work on my channel. I will also be revealing at the end of the show, so stick around for that. My new logo. I'm gonna be probably revealing it. Like I'm gonna put it on my channel, my new logo tomorrow, but I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek. So stick around for that. I will post this link on my channel. Let's see. But I hope everyone's having a good night. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I'm excited to watch some football. The thing that's stupid though is that the stream, like the games are so freaking stupid. Like the only one that I think is going to be decent is the Giants versus Cowboys. Other than that, I expect most of them to be blowouts because early morning game is Cowboys versus Lions, and then the late game is Vikings versus Patriots. And it's like, do you really expect either like Lions or Patriots to really give up that much of a fight? Like, I don't know, man. It's definitely nobody wanted to play on Thanksgiving because or on Thursday, so they had to put those teams in there, but it kind of sucks because we're not going to have that many good matchups. Um, but so I'm maybe looking forward to one game tomorrow, but that's not where we're here to um to discuss because we're here to discuss 49ers and to react that win. And again, link in the description, and the link will also be in my community channel. So we'll get to it. Let's get to Damian Lee though coming in. He's a regular. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the rest of the Niner family. Yeah, thank you. Remember, guys, you can call in whenever. Happy Thanksgiving, Benny. Don't be a turkey. Gobble, gobble. Yeah, I've been working overtime lately, getting caught up with some school and then working on my logo. This background, the next show that you see me, which will be Saturday, I'll be live again Saturday. This background is going to be gone. I'm going to have a different background. So this background probably won't be here anymore. Maybe the blue blanket, but bend your hair. It's wild. Were you running practice early? Were you running or practicing early? Yeah. Well, my hair's a little it's a little moist here, so it's a little curly. Um Again, I was I was working out and I didn't really have a time to catch a shower. So I'm going to go. I'm so tired right now, but I'm stoked because the 49ers won. So, again, we're not here for that. Let's get into some film from Jimmy Garoppolo. My first topic of the day, and this is something that I think, again, call in if you have any thoughts of this, but is Jimmy's hot start deceptive? Deceptive. And I kind of think it goes both ways because I do think that he's done very well. But if you look at the opponents that he is facing, it's not that impressive. And I'll get into some stats, but let's get into some film of like the good and bad of Jimmy Garoppolo. And the first one I want to start off with is the Brandon Ayuk, touchdown grab. I believe it was the first touchdown that the 49ers scored. And so this pass was the reason why I wanted to bring this up is this pass was a very powerful pass. And the thing that I was seeing from Jimmy Garoppolo was a lot of zip passes. So it was really his arm was there. You know, and the big thing that we have been seeing from Jimmy Garoppolo, it's a little blurry. It's not good. Okay. Well, the big thing that we've been seeing from Jimmy Garoppolo, like last year, especially, I go back to that Titans game. I remember him sailing a pass over the middle in that Titans game, and the accuracy, and I think he had like 2 picks that game, and the accuracy wasn't there over the middle, right? And it really, because of that injury last year, he didn't have very accurate passes over the middle. But he's kind of regained that accuracy over the middle. And to be a quarterback that he is, to play the style of quarterback that he plays, you have to be very accurate and you have to know how to fit it in with tight windows. The last few years, he hadn't been like that. And so he would sail passes. He'd put passes behind receivers over the middle. It would lead to picks. We're not seeing that. And that's the thing that's really impressive is his arm strength is there and he's actually becoming more accurate. Um, so we're not in for that. LOL. Hey, it happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't think my hair becomes really curly sometimes. I mean, I washed it this okay, I probably shouldn't anyways, I washed it this morning, but I'm going to have another shower again, but I don't know why I'm saying this. Anyways, let's get to the film. That was a weird diversion. Let's get to the film. I don't know why it's so freaking blurry. This is bad. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, you see Brandon Ayuk cut back on that route, and just watch Jimmy Garoppolo's arm strength on this play. Why? Okay. So you should go fast, but let's watch the next because it's going to show this again from the back end of Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think that he was going through his read. So you see first read, second read, beautiful, and fits it in, but in a tight window between those two players. Very impressive throw. I want to skip it back again. Let Okay. So so this is blurry here, but it should get better. But look, little cutback by Brandon Ayuk. Look how he fits it in that window between those two people. That's a dart right there. That is a dart. And he goes through his read. He's improving on that aspect of the game. Again, he wasn't a one-read player. So he kind of has got his mojo back. Let's move on, though, because, again, I don't want to make this too long of a show. I don't want to bore you guys with my game film. Let's move to the clean pocket plays. I want to make a point now. Jimmy, hold on. Kyle Sullivan. Jimmy, I think you might be a first one. I mean, I don't know if I've seen you before in the chat, but if you're a first-time guest, welcome. Jimmy looks good, but how will the 49ers do facing tougher adversaries? I think Miami and Tampa could beat us. Yeah, Miami is going to be the game of the year. They have a coach who knows us. They have I mean, Tampa, I think Tampa has a lot of talent on that team, but they just haven't been healthy all year. They haven't been able to put it together. And that's what I said to my brother yesterday. I said, Miami and Tampa. I think Tampa is going to be that team where they know Jimmy Garoppolo because they have Tom Brady, who played with Jimmy Garoppolo for a while. They know Jimmy Garoppolo. They know his strengths and weaknesses. That's going to be a tough team. And they also have talent on that team. And the thing is their interior isn't good, but the 49ers interior pass rush isn't good either. Now, by that Tampa game, we should have Eric Armstead back, so that should add some interior pass rush. But, I mean, the 49ers don't get that much pressure from the inside. Okay, so let's see here. So let's move to I want to make a case, and this is why okay, so that was a beautiful pass, right? But even on that play, he had a lot, and I want you guys to count with me when I go to this next play. We'll go to minute 31:21. So let's go 31:21, 21. Okay. I want to see how much time he has in the pocket throughout this game. And this is why I think this is why I don't put too much stock into this game or too much stock into his performance. Because if you count down how much freaking time he has, it's really incredible. But it's quite incredible. Okay, I don't think this is the play, so let's say that was a high throw. That was like, okay, so here's the play. So let's count down, okay? Um, so he snaps the ball, right? 1 Mississippi, 2 wait, hold on. Was that clean pocket? 31, 32. Oh, yeah, okay. So here, you don't see any pass rush. Just in the pocket, is able to make his throw, right? And it's a quick throw, a quick slant, whatever. But you don't see a ton of pressure there. And then I think this is the play I was talking. No, okay. That was the play. Let's move on, though. I a very good example. I have a better one a few minutes. 32-21. 32-26. Hopefully you guys are still loading. Let's see. Come on. Anyways, the pocket, what I'm trying to say was the pocket was super, I don't know what's going on with it. The pocket was super clean. Okay. Wait, what the hell? Sorry for my cussing, but I don't know what the heck just happened. Just had a glitch. What the heck? Anyways, the pocket, I, mega, believe we have a scammer here. The pocket was super clean throughout. It was, okay, I might need to block this person. Yeah. Block user. That is kind of funny. Anyways, the pocket was super clean throughout the day. I don't know if I should show you this anymore. 32. Oh my gosh. I apologize, guys. I did not know we'd have a glitch in the middle of the freaking stream. So basically, almost the next play is what we had, as I showed you. There was a quick screen. They brought the pressure on that play, and then he just kicked it out to Debo. Okay, this is the play I believe this is the play I'm talking about. Yeah, this is the play. So this play was an incomplete to Jawan Jennings. This play was an example of if you count this was not working. Fudge. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing this anymore. This is freaking terrible. I don't know what the heck keeps happening, but basically my point is, yeah, my point is he had a lot of time in the pocket. You go back and watch the film. I was trying to show it to you guys. I guess my Wi-Fi's not working, but he had a ton of time to look around in the pocket. There were several times, and it's just a testament to how bad this Arizona pass rush is. And just like, I don't know. I just don't think it was very good. And that's why, like, he had time to go through his read, make those throws. And that's why I want to see him in more. How good is he in quick decisions, you know? But I mean, he was, again, the Cardinals, and this is why, again, his numbers, that he's been great the last 3 games. But here are the last 2 defenses that he's faced: Chargers and Arizona. So basically, the Arizona Cardinals are 28th in the league against quarterbacks, allowing 254 yards per game to a quarterback, passing yards per game to a quarterback. And then basically the quarterbacks that have played the Cardinals have averaged 35 attempts per game and completed 24 of those attempts. So that's a good, like, I would say 70%. No, hold on. So 24. That's like a good 70, yeah, almost 70% of the passes completed. So that's that's like 68%. That is a really good. Like when you're getting 24 for 35, I mean, your team is that's a good day for quarterbacks. So that's a bad. I mean, they're a bottom 5 team, and then the Chargers are 21st against quarterbacks, allowing 236 yards per game, passing yards, and then quarterbacks are attempting the ball to throw it 31 times per game and 20 completions per game. So not great. Not great for this team of like the defenses that he's faced. Now, he's played good against bad defenses. That's what you're supposed to do. And he's played flawless. He really has. But I want to see him, like Grandizer or Kyle Sullivan says, Jimmy looks good, but how will the 49ers do facing the tougher adversaries? Exactly. Again, I'll probably cut all of that like glitching part on NFL when I was when it wasn't really working. I'll probably just cut it out afterwards after the show because that was bad. But yeah, I just think that there is deflated. Now, he was making nice throws. I showed you guys with Brandon Ayuk how he made that zip pass, went through his progressions, and made that amazing fast pass, which we have not seen accurate over the middle, whatever. If he would have missed that pass slightly behind him, you saw in that tight window, if he would have missed that pass slightly behind him, it would have been an interception. So, but anyways, so we'll get, I did want to show you guys the George Kittle TD where he scrambled out of the pocket, made a beautiful pass, but I don't think that's going to happen because this all 22 is being terrible. But another thing that he did, another thing how the Cardinals defended them. Cardinals were defending them by loading the box, and they kind of paid a little bit for that. Like Grant Cohn said it best, like they're playing Jimmy Garoppolo how teams were playing him last year and how it was working last year against him. But he's gotten a healthier arm, and now he's got a little bit more arm strength, and he's getting a little bit more confident because he's playing like he has nothing to lose, right? And so he's playing a lot more freely, and he's playing with a lot more confidence. And that's helping his confidence and downfield accuracy and everything else. And teams are playing him super loaded up in the box, and he's killing them. So that's good to hear. But my second topic is it's going to be hard to let go of Jimmy Garoppolo because let's say we make it to the Super Bowl and win. Okay. If this is like, if he sustains this success and we make it to the Super Bowl or don't make it, but if he sustains this quarterback play throughout the playoffs, whatever, I'm kind of okay. I don't want to hear this because as for me, I think we should give Trey a chance, but I think that if Jimmy plays like this all season long, which I don't think he will, but even against a hard team like the Dolphins, they don't have a good defense. So what's the good defense that we play on our schedule? Seattle and Buccaneers. So he doesn't really play too many hard defenses until the playoffs. If he sustains this success, could we see Jimmy Garoppolo staying with the 49ers for another year? And that's a huge question. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would say it's going to be a tough discussion when come free agency. He's probably, I would say he gets 30 to 35 million per year. But it's like, and I don't agree with it because I think you should still let him go. I think the only way we keep him is if he leads us to a Super Bowl and wins. And I hope he does, a Super Bowl is nice. But if he doesn't, I think you have to let him go, man. Because it's like, you have to give Trey Lance a chance. And even though he's playing the best ball of his life, who's to say that's not going to like fade away, again. So I don't agree with us keeping him for another year. But then again, it actually very well could be a reality at the end of this year. Like it could be actually coming true. And even like I did not expect this. I did not expect 3 months ago me to be saying, "Oh, we might keep him for next year." So it's funny, but it's going to be a decision that's going to be tough to make. I saw something ridiculous on Pat McAfee, and I'm sorry. The more I watch him, the more I think he is a clown. He said Jimmy Garoppolo is understanding the offense, right? Okay, that's right. But then he said Trey Lance hasn't done like like he made it sound like Trey Lance has played and he was like Trey Lance hasn't done shit in this offense or no, hasn't done like shit while he's played. And I'm like, dude, he's started 4 games, not even 3.5 games. And you're saying he hasn't done shit in this offense. He's playing like shit. And he's played like shit while he's played. He's only played 3.5 games. I mean, come on, man. And that Bears game was not entirely his fault. Some of it was his fault, but not entirely his fault. So, what pisses me off is how people like this who don't really cover them that much can be so freaking ignorant because it's like, I mean, yeah, you're kind of right, but you're making it sound like he's played in the offenses and is a bust. No, he hasn't played in the offense at all. Like, okay, whatever, man. Should the 49ers get a QB via the draft one with the 49ers second round? Good backup. The 49ers don't have a second round pick. If they let Jimmy Garoppolo go, they will get a third round comp pick. And I think if DeMeco Ryans leaves to become a head coach, they'll get a third round comp pick the next year. And I think they're getting a third round comp pick for Mike McDaniel this year. So they have like a few third round picks. I am actually for that though. The thing is since we don't have a second round pick, realistically in the third round, you don't have many options left. Now, I've heard this is a good QB draft. I haven't dived into it, but it's like, how many quarterbacks down the board are you by the third round? And that's where, like, I'm just more into signing a backup quarterback at this point. Jared Goff with the 49ers could be a really good fit. However, he has 1 year left in his deal. Lions don't save any money by trading Goff. It'd have to be a player of need or comparable draft pick. I don't want Goff. Hell no. Like, I don't know. I do not like Jared Goff very much. Oh, I thought you guys had a second. Forgot that goes to the Panthers. Yeah, it does. It does. And the thing that's funny is we're now doing good now. And so the Broncos have our first round pick, right? Because I believe because it went from Miami and then Miami traded the first round pick for Bradley Chubb. So the Broncos have a first round pick. But what's so funny is that first round pick, since we're starting to do good, is going to be like a low first round pick. And so now the Broncos, who traded away, if we would have done bad, the Broncos would have had like a top 15 pick. That's great, right? But the Broncos traded away their top pick for Russell Wilson, and now they have our first round pick. But our first round pick is almost worth, like, it's going to be worth shit by the end of the year, right? So it's like the Broncos kind of aren't having the best of luck with the pick market right now, because it's like they have a super low pick right now, and it sucks because that's hard to. If the Broncos wanted to draft a good player, you're gonna have to do it in the late first round. This is a deep draft at QB. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Well, you got an offensive-minded coach. He should be able to develop a QB in the third round. That's true. That's true. But who's to say the 49ers, again, next year, we're going to be losing quite a few people. We don't have a ton of cap space. I'm not completely sure. I believe we have 2 third-round picks next year. If Jimmy Garoppolo leaves, I'm not completely sure we're going to spend one of those third-round picks. One of those, like that third-round pick you can use to get I think the 49ers are going to try to go for a right tackle. So who's to say they're going to spend one of those third-round picks? And I think they're going to probably go interior defensive lineman as well with one of those picks. So who's to say they're going to draft a quarterback with one of their first picks in the draft? I don't think so. So I don't know. That's where it's like, I don't know. That's where it's like, I would think we would sign just a guy off the market. Wouldn't it be great if Lamar Jackson came? Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be great. Like Lamar Jackson on this team would be amazing. But the thing is he's going to be worth like 60 mil. So, Benny is on fire today. He is ranting, cursing, attacking Pat McAfee. Yeah, I should. Yeah, man. But we'll get to the next topic. We've spent enough on this one. Let's get to the 2 running back system. This is another thing that I took away from this game. And this game, there was a lot of good things in this game. I mean, props. You know, you had, and this is why this 2 running back system is so important, because now the Cardinals are starting to sell out for that 2 running. Like, they're selling out when Elijah Mitchell's on the field. They're probably going to run it to him up the middle because he's going to gash us and get 8 yards. So we're going to sell out to stop that run by Elijah Mitchell. And then all of a sudden you have that end around by Deebo Samuel, and he takes it for a touchdown. So that's where it's so dangerous. And that's where, like, before this game, I was calling for the creativity, and it wasn't there. We finally saw that Shanahan creativity against, I know it's a terrible defense, but wow. Finally, I was excited when Deebo Samuel broke off for that big play. First half wasn't a ton of big plays, but then second half you had Christian McCaffrey, Deebo, just boom, 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 boom. It was great. But what I like about the 2 running back system, and this is the last thing because I'll go quick on this one, but limits the injuries. I feel like last year, you know, since they had not as much depth, they didn't trust Wilson as much. And I mean, Jeff Wilson sucked last year because he was coming off of an injury, but they basically force-feeded the ball to Mitchell and Deebo. And by the NFC Championship game, it was starting to kind of like, they were starting to wear down their legs. And so they were starting to struggle. But now it's like this limits the injuries to Elijah Mitchell. And with CMC and Mitchell, it's like neither guy gets overworked. And so both of them have fresh legs. And Mitchell is, I would say, a top 10 running back in the league at his best. And McCaffrey's a top 3 running back in the league at his best. So you put those guys both in. Neither one has an injury risk. I mean, everyone has an injury risk, but neither one, you know, if you overwork a running back, then you have an injury risk, you know, but neither one has a high injury risk. And so it's like you're putting in Elijah Mitchell later in the game to ground and pound. And then earlier in the game, you're putting in CMC to more of the finesse. He's coming out of the backfield and catching passes out of the backfield. So you're putting those guys in that backfield, and you're using Elijah Mitchell more in the second half, and that's allowing you to be more creative, more free with your plays, and it's just keeping the defense on their heels, and it limits the injuries. And at first I did criticize the Jeff Wilson trade. I was afraid, like, still 2 injury-prone running backs. You want a third one? No. I'm actually really liking that Jeff Wilson trade now. So let's see. Ben, I was told that the 49ers might have 4 third-round picks. 3 comp picks added for all the coaching hires other teams did off the 49ers staff. I don't actually know exactly how many picks. You're probably right. I was just saying that off the top of my head because I know. So DeMeco Ryans, if he goes for a head coaching position, I think that's the next year a comp pick, right? So it's the comp pick. If Jimmy leaves this year, it's the comp pick for that. And then it's the comp pick for McDaniels. And then I guess you do have I believe you have another third. So it's 3 or 4. Yeah, I was wrong on that one. 49ers remaining schedule. New Orleans, that should be a win. Miami, that's going to be a good game. But again, Miami has a terrible defense. We match up pretty good with them. We'll see. That's the game of the year. Tampa Bay, Seattle, Washington, Las Vegas, Arizona. Man, I'll get into the New Orleans game, but I'm going to say win next week. Loss versus Miami. Tampa Bay, win. Because I think we're going to be able to get pressure on Tom Brady. Seattle, win. Well, that's close. I mean, it's in Seattle. Crowd's going to be hyped. I'm going to say win, though. I think Seattle's kind of coming back to earth. I don't think they're as good as we all thought they were. Washington's scary good. Like, I thought they were pretty bad. And then I looked at their record a week ago, and I was like, after they beat the Eagles, I was like, oh, they're 5-5. And then they won again this week. So I think that's a win, but that's not a pushover game. That's a team that's better than Arizona and possibly better than the Chargers. Las Vegas, that's a win. They're terrible. And then Arizona, that's a win. So, yeah, I really only see like 1 or 2 losses on that schedule. Also a comp pick for Saleh. Didn't we have that last year? I don't know. Maybe. So, anyways, enough of this. Love the 2 running back system. We'll move on though. Defense. Let's talk a little bit about the defense. Third straight second half shutout, which, don't get me wrong, that's really impressive. Because especially against a team, a quarterback like Justin Herbert, who is a good quarterback, and regardless of the weapons that he has, that's still freaking impressive. That is still really, really impressive to do it against a good quarterback like Justin Herbert to shut him out in the second half. But really, none of those offenses have really been that good. And I mean, the good thing about this game was they got takeaways. Again, guys, feel free if you want to call in. Link in the description. So feel free. But I'll still be here talking for probably the next like 5 minutes or whatever. The good thing about this game, they got takeaways. They got pressure from the interior, but Cardinals offense is nothing to speak about. And DeAndre Hopkins doesn't have Marquise Brown. And so it's like, he's like the only really superstar receiver on that offense. We kind of got lucky because Marquise Brown didn't play in this game and he had a chance to. So, I mean, the Cardinals, I can look up the rankings of each offensive team. I have it right here. So the rankings of each offensive team right now. The Cardinals are 1. So this is the ranking of each offensive team. The Cardinals are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The Cardinals are like 21st in their offensive rankings. So that's a sub 20, top 20 team. That is, I mean, they're not a top 15 offense. The Chargers are the only good one, well, decent one, but that's still 3, 6. I'm just looking down the rows. 8. That's like a top 15 offense, but they didn't have their receivers. Okay. And then we know how bad the LA Rams offense is. It's bottom 3. It's one of the worst offenses. So, yes, the defense has been good, but they haven't faced a top 10 offense, and that's my only concern. They got takeaways. That's great. That's something that I wanted to see more of. They got takeaways. Great. But that offense has not faced a top 10 offense these last 3 games. That's my only concern. What do they do against a team like Miami? Real quick, the man, the myth, the legend, Payo Time in the house. I did comment on your stream an hour ago and said, Rams fans have been gloating. It's nice to see. I did not direct that at you. You have not been gloating. You've been the greatest Rams fan of all time. And gloating is good. You know, you can gloat a little bit, you know, but not relentlessly, and it gets annoying after a while. And especially when like trolls will come in your stream, you know? So I don't care about like bragging, you know, every fan's going to do it. I do it, whatever. But I hate trolls. I hate trolls, man. And so that's why I said like they've been sticking it to us all day, all year long. And it is nice to see as a 49ers fan. So no offense to you, but I'm just saying, like, it's nice to see them lose for once. And that's my biasness coming in. But let's break down the Saints versus 49ers game. Again, if anyone wants to call in, feel free. Link in the description. But let's get into this next Saints versus Rams, or Saints versus 49ers game. Again, Saints got a win against the Rams last week. Sorry, Payo Time. I think this game is a pretty good matchup for the 49ers. It's at home, so it's not even in a loud stadium like the Saints Stadium has always been. I think this is another good matchup. This is the 3rd straight team that cannot stop the run. They're allowing 4.5 yards per carry, so that bodes very well for the 49ers, who tend to gash you in the second half. Bodes very well for the 49ers, 4.5 yards per carry. So that's going to be, and again, the Rams are like one of the worst running teams in the league, and the Saints allowed the Rams to run for 4.9 yards per carry, and the Rams are a terrible running team. And they were playing at the end there, the Rams, with a quarterback who you probably know they're going to run it 95% of the time, and they were still not doing very well against the run. So that's a really, really that's a weakness for the Saints that we're going to be able to exploit. But their pass rush is better than the Cardinals. Like, we saw that Cardinals pass rush be non-existent, and you had Jimmy Garoppolo sometimes in the pocket being just having 4 seconds. I remember one play, I counted 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. He had one time 4.5 seconds, about 4.5 seconds to throw the ball. So he had time. And he made use of that time. He played very well. But the Saints they have 32 sacks, while only blitzing 19.6% of the time. And I know these stats are kind of like, why does it really matter? Well, 32 sacks through 11 games, I believe, is 12 games, because the Saints haven't had their bye. It's like I'm doing the math. I don't know why I'm doing the math. That's like a little more than 3 sacks per game. That's pretty good. They don't have a completely pushover pass rush. Like, I think after seeing that Cardinals pass rush last Sunday, that was one of the worst that was one of the worst pass rushes I've seen from the Cardinals, or from a team this year. So that pass rush was not good. This pass rush is a little bit better, and they don't blitz very often, so they do get home. So that's a matchup where I'm a little scared to see Mike McGlinchey again. That guy is terrible. But I'm a little scared to see him against a good Saints pass rush. Pass rush. Trolls happen, and no offense taken. Yeah, man. I don't really care about trolls. Again, I said they're annoying, but they kind of are. But I don't care. It makes the conversation more interesting. But it definitely sucks when you just lost to them in the NFC Championship game. And I will admit, for a few months there, I was a little bit butthurt and in denial. As a fan, I didn't let it get to me on the streams, because you have to stay professional. But I definitely was sad, and it sucked to see those trolls come in. But trolls in general, I don't really care, as long as it's I went through this with Celts Chronicles. Shout out to Rich Celts. As long as trolls aren't cussing, and I know I do profanity, but I really don't do that much profanity in my streams. Once in a while I'll throw out a cuss word here and there, but it's not that bad. But as long as it's not cussing or not even cussing though, as long as it's not disrespecting people or giving people insults, that's the only time I kick them out. G12, sadly, they lost. Yeah. Hold on, but Canada played. Oh, is he talking about the World Cup? Yeah, because Canada was playing. I've been following the World Cup a little bit. Okay, so they're talking about Canada soccer. I have to head to bed, but Grand Oser, I think you should call in. Yeah, man. I mean, my most loyal supporter is not calling in. Come on, man. Ben is on fire. Peo, he is kicking tail and kicking names today. He got after Pat McAfee earlier. Okay. No, I don't know why I just said that. I just said that really weird. Okay. I think a lot of 49ers fans, and I take this from Grant Cohn's dad, made a very good point. And Grant Cohn, and I know Grant Cohn isn't I'm not trying to say he's the gospel or anything, but he did make a very good point. For somebody who doesn't cover the 49ers like Pat McAfee does, he has some strong opinions about a team he doesn't cover. And I know you're supposed to do that. But he's more of a rah-rah guy. And it's saying Trey Lance has done has done terrible in this offense. He basically said earlier, Trey Lance has done terrible in this offense. Saying Trey Lance has done terrible in this offense, you can't say that because he's only started 3.5 games. You can't say that. So it's No. Like, that's why I get pissed at him, and I'm like, dude, you can't have strong opinions about a guy, Trey Lance, who you don't even freaking cover the team. Like, come on. Ben is no doubt gonna go places. He is so good at this YouTube thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the support. You as well. Love having you on the channel. Excited to see his career. Yeah, I'm trying to kick it back in. Like, even with school, like when school kicks into full gear again, I'm on break right now, but I'll probably still do a once a week Saturday show. Yeah, we were talking about World Cup. Yeah, that's what I thought. Um, I'm an Italy fan because my mom is mother, my mom is Italian, and so I usually cheer for them. But my dad's Dutch, and they both migrated to Australia, right? And they lived there for like 20 years. And so as kids, they migrated, but they both were from there, and they both cheer for those respective teams. But Italy didn't make it this year, and Italy won the Euro Cup, but then turned around and failed to make the qualifiers for the World Cup. So now I'm going to be cheering for probably the Netherlands, which my dad likes. I've also really liked what's his name? I've really liked is it Neymar? Yeah. Yes, it is Neymar. I like him, so I'm going to be cheering for Brazil. I'll be checking in on them. But I'm so focused and locked in on football right now that I don't really look at any other sports. I start getting into basketball when the football season ends. But yeah, Grandizer, call in, man. I want to see my most loyal supporter here in the stream. And if Amin is out there, I did not mean, okay, so in this fantasy league, I know I should probably go, and I'm out of topics to talk about. Oh, one more real quick, one more matchup to discuss. Chris Olave versus the 49ers. This guy plays a lot in the slot, and so he's not going to be covered by Charvarius Ward. He's a smaller, faster receiver. That guy could give the 49ers problems. He's been really good all year. Like one of the top, I would say probably the top rookie, like except for maybe Drake London, the top rookie receiver coming out of the draft this year. That guy's going to give him problems because he plays in the slot, unlike DeAndre Hopkins. I feel like if Marquise Brown would have been playing for the Cardinals, that game would have been a lot more closer because I think the 49ers are a lot worse against slot receivers. And so that could be a guy that could give him problems. So look out for that matchup. I think it's going to be like Olave versus Lenore a lot. But yeah, so what was I talking about before? I can't remember. I don't have the tech to call in. Sorry. That's okay. I was just giving you a hard time. Got to go. Have a great night and stream, everyone. Blessings on your content creation. Yes, you too. I'll probably get off here in a minute too. Have a good night, Peo. It's time for you to sleep now. Yeah. Okay, so what was I talking about? I went to the Saints, and then I was talking about, remind me, chat. I can't even remember because I switched to the Saints. While you guys remind me, though, I'm going to show you guys my new logo that I've been working on. This is not a finished product, and I might do a few more tweaks to it. But this is the new logo that I have been working on. 3 game predictions for tomorrow's game with a bit of insight. Yeah, okay, here's the thing with me. I don't have a ton of time to watch film. But tonight, I'm going to sit down and watch film of all the big games and what happened last week because I really haven't sat down and done it yet. And usually I do every week. So I'm going to watch more film. But, okay, so first game is Bills versus Lions. That one's at 11 a.m. I want to say Bills get that one done. I think it's going to be not a blowout because I think it could be closer than we think. Because the Bills... that game is, I believe, playing in Lions Stadium, no matter what, because there is a blizzard there. I don't actually know. Let's see. I'm pulling up the scores right now. I'm pulling up the matchups right now. Excuse me. Yeah. So it's at Lions. I'd say this is gonna be a blowout, but the Lions have a really good offense, and they have a good offensive line, so they're gonna be able to avoid Von Miller a lot. I could see it being a lot closer than we all think it is because they have a good offensive line. But I think it's just going to be so high scoring because the Lions offense is terrible. I mean, defense is terrible. And the Bills offense, this is a mojo game. They need to get back on track. They need to get back on track in this game. So I'm going to say score prediction very high, but I do think the Lions, I don't think they're going to like be held out or shut out. I think the Lions get I'm going to say 38-30. And I don't know. Now, if the Bills get pressure on Jared Goff, you could see, and Jared Goff is bad under pressure, so you could see a worse game. And then the third game is probably the game that I think is the best tomorrow, and that's Giants versus Cowboys. That game, I want to say Cowboys get it done. After what they did to the freaking Vikings, wow. That was quite an incredible, what a win. I need to go back and look at the highlights for that game because that game was just, it was a clinic that they put on. Now, the Cowboys do have a tendency to be very inaccurate. Like, they're not going to do that every week, blow out teams every week. But I'm going to say Cowboys get this one done because from what I did watch a little bit of that Vikings-Cowboys game, for what I saw, Micah Parsons, I mean, man, this guy might be the defensive player of I think will be the defensive player of the year this year. I mean, from what he was doing in the run game, he was getting pressure, just an absolute monster. What a pick by the Cowboys. Like, we were all scrutinizing it because at the time, a few years ago, they did not need a linebacker. But I think that was the right pick. I think they picked him pick number 12 like 2 years ago. Yeah, this is second year. So, great player. They have a good defense. Tony Pollard, wow. I mean, they're doing a little bit of what the 49ers are doing, splitting carries between Pollard and Zeke. They have Dak, who's getting healthier. I think that's going to be not a blowout. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to say 27-23. I think they're going to do enough to stop the run to where they're going to make Daniel Jones pass, and we've all seen how that happens. And the Giants just lost to the Lions, so highlights for the Cowboys, and so highlights for the Cowboys. Highlights for the Cowboys. Lowlights for the Vikings. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so third game, Vikings versus Patriots. I don't know. I think Vikings will probably, I think they get that one done, even though I think they bounce back because I don't really expect the Patriots. They have Mac Jones. I don't expect the Patriots to, I don't expect the Patriots to score a ton in that game. Their offense has really been nothing particularly special. And the Vikings, that's the one weakness on their team is the defense. So I don't think they're going to be able to match them. I think that's going to be a blowout game. But we could see upsets. I mean, anything can happen at this point. So, that's our show. Everyone, I have my dad in here, which is a little interesting. Say hello to the camera, and then we'll end the show.
Hey, everybody. I got a question for you, Camper.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're covering World Cup a little bit, soccer?
Oh, yeah. There were some guys in here that did actually were talking about it. I wasn't covering it, but they brought it up because there is a guy in here from Canada.
Okay,
so.
I just wanted to hear your thoughts today about
He's a big soccer fan.
About the upset from Japan beating Germany today, 2-1. Do you think Germany will be able to bounce back? And is this going to be a threat to them moving forward to the next stage?
I do think so because last World Cup, if I remember so, they didn't make it past the the group stages either. You can go back and look at that, but I clearly remember they were in the same group as Japan and they didn't make it past the group stages. And for the last few years, like even last Euro Cup, they weren't very good. So yeah, I do think that will affect them moving forward. Again, I haven't been keeping up with them too much, but they definitely haven't been what they were the last few years. Like they were
Okay,
really good. So
so England 6-2 over Iran. Do you think this is going to be a sign of England bringing it all back home again, or do you think they're going to flake out at the last minute and 6-2 is just a lucky high score early on in the tournament? Or
I'd say lucky high score. I've never really heard of Iran being a big powerhouse. And again, when I was watching the Euro Cup, England was, I don't know, they blew out teams a lot, and then they made it to the finals and lost to my favorite team. So I'm gonna say that's a lucky high score. Although they do have talent, but I wouldn't take too much away from that, even because it was a bad team that they were, or not as good team that they were
Saudi
playing.
Arabia beating, great upset over Argentina.
Argentina.
What's your comment there?
Isn't this Messi's last game or last World Cup?
Yeah, it's messed up. I mean, it's messied up.
I want to say, I don't know. I'm not as close in soccer as I am in football, but I want to say that team's maybe not the same. I don't know, but Iran, that's an impressive win to take down a
No,
usual
Saudi
world
Arabia, Saudi
powerhouse.
Arabia.
No, sorry, Saudi Arabia. Just take down a world-renowned powerhouse like Argentina, even if they're bad. I mean, that's impressive.
Mm-mm.
So, anyways,
It's going to be exciting.
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All right. So, did I come in too late? Did you make any comments on the 49ers playing in Mexico at
Yeah.
altitude?
Yeah, that was interesting because I actually forgot to say that they practice in Colorado Springs, and we live 4 hours away from Colorado, or 4.5 hours away from Colorado Springs. So that was kind of cool. There were some players during that game that were like, I thought they had injuries, but then I was looking closer and I was like, oh, they're just laying down because they're like super gassed from the altitude. And apparently it takes, like, there was a guy up on the podium and he was speaking to the press, and apparently he said it would have taken 3 weeks to get used to that altitude in Mexico City. So yes, there were players gassed. But the 49ers were more prepared than the Cardinals, because the Cardinals didn't even prepare. Like, they didn't go to a location before the game. The Cardinals actually stayed home in Arizona right before the game, and then they flew there a few days before. So the 49ers were more prepared than the Cardinals were in that game.
Do you think that might have been a strong factor in the Cardinals' loss, or?
Yes. Yeah, because the 49ers second half, Cardinals got tired, and the 49ers gashed them with Elijah Mitchell. And that was like the greatest second half I've ever seen.
Awesome.
So yeah, but that's my show. So I will join you in the living room in just a minute when I wrap this up. I'll see you.
All right.
Anyways, everyone, that is my show. Wow, we went for an hour. I did not expect to do this for an hour, but it was a long show. We'll see you guys later. And again, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'll be posting clips of this show later, so we'll see you guys soon. Again, I'll have a guest. Actually, so quick announcement. I know a lot of people are starting to file out, but quick announcement: Grant Cohn probably coming on the show after Thanksgiving. So that's going to be an important date. I believe it. I want him to come on Wednesday. So next Wednesday. So in a week or so, one of the days next week, we'll be having Grant Cohn. So look out for that. That's a big guest. And we'll hope to see more of you guys there. Again, we did have quite a bit of people filing in throughout the stream. So thanks for the support. Again, Grandizer, as always, thanks for the support. And we'll see you guys again later. Watch out for that show, because that's going to be dynamite. I love watching Grant Cohn, and he was in Mexico City covering the 49ers. So I really am interested to see what his experiences in Mexico City, in a different country. I want to ask him about that. So hopefully we'll be able to get him on sometime next week. We'll see you guys again later. Have a good rest of your night. And thanks for sticking with me. Always enjoyed it.